guys, it's Michelle, and today's video is going to be yet another pop culture conspiracy theories video for you guys. Y'all know I love pop culture. Like, it's kind of my favorite thing on the planet. I just love keeping up with celebrities. It just feels so unserious and so fun, even though they are real people. It's just like loving reality TV. Since there are countless celebrities, there's always countless different conspiracy theories surrounding them. So without further ado, let's get into the conspiracy theories. All right, the first conspiracy theory that I want to talk about has to do with Walt Disney. So there's a conspiracy theory about Walt Disney that low-key makes a lot of sense, and it's not that he's frozen somewhere. But there's a theory that Walt was actually a huge chain smoker. Well, not so much a theory, kind of actually true. However, the conspiracy theory is that the Disney company tried to cover this up and essentially erase the fact that Walt smoked cigarettes from history. There are dozens of pictures of Walt where it looks like he's pointing with two fingers. Many people believe that these photos have actually been doctored and photoshopped, and there used to be a cigarette between his two fingers. And if you think about it, it makes so much sense. I feel like it's also interesting that at Disney parks, the cast members are instructed to point with two fingers. I've always seen that this was because in certain cultures, like pointing with one finger can be seen as rude, so that's why they did the two-finger point. But what if it's really just to cover up Walt Disney's image? Like, I just think that this is such an interesting concept and totally believable. I just feel like Disney wanting to keep a squeaky clean image, especially surrounding Walt, makes so much sense. I just feel like Disney having a squeaky clean image and not wanting people to believe that the, creator of this children's park was such a chain smoker. I kind of believe it, but let me know your guys' thoughts. All right, the next theory that I want to talk about is all about Miss Gypsy Rose Blanchard. Y'all, ever since Gypsy Rose was released from prison, she's honestly been all over social media. I'm sure you guys have seen it. I feel like, of course, with being so involved with the public eye, naturally there's going to be conspiracy theories that come out. This one is quite unsavory though. I would say a lot of people believe that Gypsy Rose's new husband Ryan is actually her half-brother. Now, before we get into this, I want to say I don't believe this theory, but if this theory were to be true, it would just have a lot of moving parts, and I don't think that it makes sense at all, but let's get into it. I think the reason most people believe this theory is because they see a resemblance between Dee Dee Blanchard, who is Gypsy Rose's mother, and her new husband, Ryan. They're also both from Louisiana, and according to Dee Dee Blanchard's genealogy report, I don't know where this genealogy report actually comes from, or if it's legit at all. It's certainly been going around TikTok. It basically shows that she is the mother of two children, and it says Private Blanchard, which would be Gypsy Rose, and then it says Private Anderson Blanchard, which people think is Ryan. I think this theory would make a lot of sense if it was a sick and twisted movie plot, because I just feel like shit like this doesn't happen in real life. Not saying that it couldn't, but imagine Dee Dee had a secret son, but Gypsy Rose had no idea who this person was, and then when Gypsy's boyfriend murdered Dee Dee, son wanted to get revenge, so he's marrying Gypsy Rose and acting like he's just a regular guy, but really it's her half-brother, and then he's gonna murder Gypsy, in the same way that she murdered their mom, which was essentially by someone that they were supposed to trust. I think that that's an interesting movie plot again, but I don't think that it's true. It makes no sense. There are so many moving parts to this for that theory to be true, for it to be known in Ryan's mind but not Gypsy's mind that they're brother and sister. Dee Dee was quite preoccupied with controlling Gypsy's entire life and making up all of these fake illnesses, taking her to doctors, and doing all of this stuff. When the hell would she have time to know another child that she had? I just feel like she had no time, especially that Gypsy didn't know about. I just don't think it makes sense. Is it a possibility that Dee Dee had a secret child when she was young and gave it up for adoption or something, and it happens to be Ryan? I guess, but I also just think sometimes people look alike, so I don't think I believe this theory. I think that there's a lot to say about the whole Gypsy Rose case, and a lot to say about how the media has treated it. Even though some of the memes have definitely been funny to look at, I do think that it is so interesting that it's just on The View. Besides the point, I don't really believe this conspiracy theory, but I would like to hear your thoughts behind it. Again, it sounds like some crazy movie plot. would probably be a good movie. They should consider that. All right, the next theory that we're going to talk about is a crazy conspiracy theory that has to do with celebrities being mentally frozen in time. So a lot of celebrities have actually spoken out about this theory, claim it to be true. Taylor Swift is one of them. She claims that she feels like she's frozen at the age that she became famous. This theory makes a lot of sense, like logically. A lot of these celebrities are, you know, people who became famous when they were kids, and those years are super formative. It must be incredibly strange to grow in front of the public eye. I just think that that could definitely do a lot of mental damage. I don't know, I'm not like a therapist, but I would say it would be tough. So Taylor Swift believes the reason that she is still such a people pleaser, kind of like a shy girl trying to figure out what her place in the world is, because that is who she like left off at when she became famous at 16. She was trying to find who she was and her place in the world, and I guess sometimes Taylor still feels like that. So I think that this is really interesting. There are a few other examples that I want to talk about though. Justin Bieber, I think, is a great example of this, because bro was acting like a fucking 15-year-old when he was like well in his 20s. And I just think it's hilarious. Like, I think that that's so, because the way that he grew up under a microscope, I think he still has like the mental, like maybe not now, but a few years ago, I would say like his mentality was literally that of a 15-year-old boy. He was not grown at all. A lot of people think that the reason that Scott Disick and Leonardo DiCaprio date younger women is because they are stuck in the age as well that they got famous at. So like dating someone who is their age or older feels like strange to them, which is suspicious and weird, but like they genuinely feel so mentally immature. I'm sure even older women probably don't want to date them. I mean, just look at fucking Kourtney Kardashian. Like, she had to deal with Scott's bullshit for so long, and they started dating when they were kids. So I definitely think this is a possibility. Kanye West is another person who I feel like his behavior is extremely childish. And three girlies that I think this proves to be true is Selena Gomez, Hailey Bieber, and Kylie Jenner, like slash Kendall Jenner. That whole clique of girls, whenever like the whole Selena versus Hailey drama was going down, I genuinely felt like these 20-something-year-olds were acting like they were in middle school. Like, it literally felt like that. It felt so high school-y drama that is really funny to me, because that is the age that they started getting fame as well. And it makes sense that they would handle something like this so childishly, because they have never really known anything different. I actually believe this theory makes so much sense. I have had people like in my life, like my friends who do social media as well, who got super famous at a young age, really talk about how that they feel like the fame stunted their growth in a way. And I think that concept is very interesting, and it kind of makes you look at like the way celebrities are and the way they react to things very differently. I don't know, I would like to hear your guys' thoughts on this theory. I just think psychologically it makes so much sense. I think it would be weird and it would be hard to grow up in the public eye, and I definitely feel like it has its effects on people, and we've seen it throughout history. I don't know. I would like to hear your guys' thoughts on this, because I find this stuff to be very interesting. All right, the next theory we're going to be talking about is the 27 Club. You guys probably have heard about the 27 Club. I've talked about it, but it was like forever ago. It basically is the idea that, you know, there are multiple celebrities who have mysteriously passed away at the age of 27, including Kurt Cobain, Jimi Hendrix, Amy Winehouse, Janis Joplin, Jim Morrison, and many more. A lot of people believe that the Illuminati is involved with this theory. Basically, they believe that these celebrities had sold their souls to the devil himself, to the Illuminati in general, so that they could get very famous very quickly, and in return they would have a short life, only living till the age of 27. I don't really know if I believe that's true, but an interesting concept, because I am an astrology girly. There is this little thing called Saturn return in astrology that adds up and coincides with the 27 Club so perfectly that it's kind of crazy. Every person goes through Saturn return. It's when Saturn goes back to its placement that it was when you were born. Essentially, it kind of happens from the ages of 26 to 29, and then later in your 50s. It's not to say that everyone's late 20s will be like doom and gloom. That's not really it. It's more like very hard lessons that will shape your life. Like, these are the moments that are going to exalt you into, you know, your higher self, like what you're supposed to be doing in this lifetime. But if you're not willing to accept these changes, this very transformative time can be difficult for a lot of people. It's because Saturn is the planet of hardship, so having this self-learning and self-improvement could be kind of striking for a lot of people if you're not willing to accept it. And also a lot of people who are struggling with drug and alcohol addiction, this time can make things like even worse for them. Something that all the 27 Club members have in common is that their deaths weren't like random. They weren't really people like getting sick or, you know, having a terrible accident or something. It was, for the most part, had to do, at least for like the most famous ones of the club that we've already talked about, it has to do with drugs, alcohol, suicide, like very tough, hard topics. And I think it's interesting because we can even look back onto celebrities who died like around that age, and not specifically at 27, but like Mac Miller was 26 years old when he passed away. We can look at Saturn return being a possibility because he was obviously struggling with drug addiction at the time. And Saturn return, like I said, can make problems like really come to the forefront. So I think that this is an interesting concept and an interesting theory overall. I also think it's kind of interesting to look at it from the perspective of celebrities who are still here on this earth, or, you know, the people around you. For example, like Ariana Grande, like went through so much during her Saturn return. She went through the death of Mac Miller. She broke off an engagement. She was married and divorced. Like all of that happened during her Saturn return. And I just think that you can go back in history and look at different people's, like celebrities' lives or people that you know, and see where Saturn return might have made things a little bit more difficult for them. And I think that this is an interesting concept, and it 100% correlates directly with the 27 Club and explains it. Like, I think it makes so much more sense than like the Illuminati theories, but I want to hear your guys' thoughts. What do you think? All right, the next theory that we're going to be talking about is the mysterious curse of the Welsh soccer player Aaron Ramsey. So it seems as though every time Aaron scores a goal, a major celebrity passes away. Stuff like this I normally just take with a grain of salt and I say it's a coincidence, but I do think it's strange that he has scored, like in his career, 78 goals, and 27 of them correlated with a celebrity death, all happening within like 3 days of scoring the goal, and a lot of them happening on the same day or just the next day. And I think it's kind of weird. Osama bin Laden, who died next day after Aaron Ramsey scored against Manchester. Also, Olivia Newton-John, Luke Perry, Nancy Reagan, Alan Rickman, David Bowie, Robin Williams, Paul Walker, Whitney Houston, Steve Jobs, and honestly, so many more. Like, it's kind of weird at this point. A lot of conspiracy theorists wonder why this is, and a lot of them seem to think that perhaps Aaron Ramsey made a deal with the devil or the Illuminati, I guess whatever you want to take it as, and he made this deal with the Illuminati so that he could become a famous and successful soccer player, and every time he scored a goal, another celebrity would have to be sacrificed. I don't know if I believe that's true, but I do think that there's something about coincidences that never really felt right to me. Like, I don't believe in them, basically. I just think there's like some things are really coincidental, but like, and it's so many times over and over again, can you really call it a coincidence or something darker going on? I don't know, but I would like to hear your thoughts because it freaks me out. All right, the last few theories that we're going to be talking about has to do with Miss Taylor Swift. She's catching a lot of heat lately, I will say. Most of it was with the Grammy Awards, which we have some theories on as well. A lot of people think that she snubbed Celine Dion. I don't know, I feel like it's just like a crazy moment to win a Grammy, although she has won them before, so I do think it was like kind of weird. But like then immediately her PR team like posted a picture of her and Celine to like erase the fact that the weird encounter happened, but do you think it was on purpose? Like, I'm not sure. But regardless, let's talk about some theories that have to do with why Taylor Swift seems to always be winning. So people have a theory that Taylor Swift is a witch. We've kind of talked about this slightly before about like her being related to the Church of Satan, like high priestess. Not even that. Besides that, people believe that Taylor Swift genuinely practices witchcraft. I think that this is somewhat true. Like, She has self-proclaimed to be a witch. So has like Ariana Grande, Tom Brady's ex-wife Giselle. Like there's so many different celebrities who like witchcraft. Like, and I think it's cute and fun. Some people might disagree with that. But regardless, a lot of people think that Taylor Swift uses dark magic to be always constantly winning and always on top, but also to bring down the people that wrong her. People believe that this has been going on for years. I'd say this theory really started popping off with her recent Grammy win. She won Album of the Year, which made her the 4th win of that category. It's like probably one of the most coveted categories at the Grammys, if not the most. And people just think that it's insane that she was tied with Frank Sinatra, Stevie Wonder, and Paul Simon, who had all won Album of the Year 3 times. But Taylor Swift beat them. And those people are, again, like legends. And I think Taylor Swift will be too, but it's just like weird to see it happen in real time. Realistically though, the Grammys constantly snubs artists. Like this is a known thing. Like some of the most famous artists of all time have won either none or barely any Grammys. Like Katy Perry, Nicki Minaj, Snoop Dogg, Diana Ross, Sia, Queen, and many other artists have never won a Grammy. Other artists like Britney Spears, Mariah Carey, and Ariana Grande, who I feel like those 3 are like the queens of pop, they have won either 5 or less Grammys. Ariana Grande has been vocal about the Grammy snubs for quite a bit of time. She publicly spoke out about this in 2019 because after Mac Miller had passed away, he was nominated for Rap Album of the Year for Swimming, and a lot of people were upset. The Grammys had invited Mac's family to the event and then did not give him the Grammy Award. And a lot of people thought this was just like rude and kind of pointless to do to his family and during such a hard time. I agree. I think that's so fucked up. And Ariana did as well. She was publicly speaking out about it. Since then, she has refused to attend the awards even when she's won Grammys or been nominated. So I personally don't think that Taylor Swift winning Grammys has to do with her being a witch. I think it has to do with her having a good standing with like the Recording Academy. I kind of think that who wins Grammys is like very specific with, again, who's in good standing with the Recording Academy. And of course, of who's like popping off at the time. And of course, Taylor Swift is like insanely huge right now. So I don't know. However, a lot of people have theories about Taylor Swift in the Super Bowl, and I think her being a witch, using her magic and casting spells on like Travis Kelce and the Chiefs so that they won and are able to like go to the Super Bowl is kind of cute and fun, especially compared to the theory that we're gonna get into as to why people think the Chiefs are playing in the Super Bowl. Another reason people think Taylor Swift is a witch is because the number 13. Just listen to this and hear how everything coincides so perfectly.
Taylor Swift's favorite number is 13.
Why?
That's a known thing.
I don't know about you, but I thought it was 22.
No, that's an age.
The Taylor Swift fans will like that one.
If Taylor Swift goes to the Super Bowl this year, it will be her 13th game attended.
Okay.
If she does go to the Super Bowl, the flight from Japan to the Super Bowl is roughly 13 hours.
We're just diving deep, aren't we?
The Chiefs are playing the 49ers, which 4 plus 9 is 13.
Okay.
And the 49ers are the 1 seed and the Chiefs are the 3 seed, which makes 13.
That does also make 13. Is the score going to be 13-13? They go into overtime?
That would break the internet.
That would break the internet.
If you subtract 13 from 100, it makes 87, which is Travis Kelce's number.
Okay. What does that mean?
So that means that it's leaning towards a Taylor Swift Super Bowl.
Let's make some other stuff up. Why not?
I don't know if it makes sense, but it is weird, I will say. I don't believe in coincidences, and I kind of think it's the power of the universe, but let me know. I also think it's interesting that people think that Taylor Swift was using this magic for evil as well, in the sense of that like period of time where everyone was talking about Selena versus Hailey Bieber, and Hailey Bieber was like not it. Like I feel like everyone was so mad at Hailey, everyone was team Selena. A lot of people think that like Taylor Swift used her magic to cast like a protection spell over Selena because that's one of her best friends. And other people think that after the whole VMAs Kanye West situation that Taylor Swift has been cursing Kanye ever since. I just also think that it's kind of, you know, funny and shows how little we actually change as human beings, that like a woman is winning something, so then we're like, she's a witch. She must be a witch. Or like a man, Kanye, has been struggling, and instead of just being like, no, he's just unwell, says terrible things and does terrible things, it's because Taylor Swift cursed him. Like, it's, come on. It feels very reminiscent of like the Salem witch trials, where everyone was just like the girls could do math and they were like, witch. I don't know that I believe that Taylor Swift is a witch. Well, actually, I mean, I do, but I don't think that like that's like, I just feel like magic is more, it's not that I don't believe in like bad magic, for sure. I feel like that's a possibility and like a thing. I don't know. I don't like subscribe to like doing that. But I believe in like the power of like manifestation and believing in the universe and like believing in, you know, what is meant for you will be for you, all that stuff. So I think that like, again, using like manifestation and like calling yourself a witch, like it's probably harmless, but maybe not. Maybe it has something to do with darker. Maybe it's Illuminati related. Let me know your thoughts. All right, let's talk about how people think that the Super Bowl was rigged. I am people. Like, I 100% believe it. I don't know if I believe it for the reasons that other people believe it, but I do think that it's so classic and so interesting that of course the Chiefs are playing the Super Bowl. Obviously. Like, why wouldn't they? Because it would be so boring, because this entire football season, which I literally know nothing about football, everyone has been talking about Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce. Like, that is the thing and the topic of the season for people who don't give a shit about football, and probably the people who do are probably tired of hearing about it, I would assume. I just think it would be so completely boring if the Chiefs didn't make it to the Super Bowl, because obviously Taylor Swift is gonna be at the Super Bowl now. And that's like so iconic. A lot of people think that it was rigged. I think it was rigged for that reason. It's gonna create more ratings for the Super Bowl. The fact that people are gonna be watching to see if Taylor Swift is there. I'll say it. People have a little bit of a darker conspiracy theory, and that they believe that Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce are government plants. Taylor Swift publicly endorsed Joe Biden in 2020 and got a shit ton of people to sign up to vote. And Travis Kelce is like sponsored by Pfizer, which apparently means that the two of them might be being used to go to the Super Bowl to publicly endorse Joe Biden's 2024 election. I don't know if I believe that's true. What I will say is that celebrity influence being used in politics makes complete sense to me. I don't know if I feel like it has to do with the Super Bowl specifically. Like, what are they gonna do? Just like get up in the middle of the Super Bowl and be like, hey, vote for Joe Biden or whatever? No, maybe they will if they do, though. I feel like it's a very obvious plan. Getting celebrities to endorse politicians publicly makes complete sense to me, because the fact that voter.org like registrations happened after Taylor Swift said register to vote, Ariana Grande says register to vote, like it makes a difference. Like, regardless of what side you want to be on and what side the celebrity's on, like it doesn't matter. It makes a huge difference. So I do think it would make complete sense for politicians to use people like Taylor Swift as celebrity endorsements. Like, it just does make sense. That why do you think the government wanted John Lennon to be out of the country so badly? They tried to deport him so many times because he was spreading a peace movement during a super war-oriented regime. So I just think that this makes complete sense. But I would like to hear your thoughts on it regardless. Anyway, that is it for today's video. If you guys liked it, please give it a big thumbs up. Let me know in the comments below what you guys think of these conspiracy theories. Make sure you follow me on Twitter, TikTok, and Instagram, and subscribe for new videos every week, and I will see you guys later. Bye!